In this video, we'll be talking about 10 weird, strange and generally surprising car facts that you probably didn't know about. Number 1. Volvo's false start. Volvo built its first car in 1927. Known unofficially as the Jacob and officially as the OV4, the first example of this large four-seater tourer was driven out of the company's workshop on April 14 and promptly back in again, because the rear axle had been assembled incorrectly, resulting in the car having 4 reverse gears and just one to move the car forwards. Number 2. Titanic's car. When the Titanic sank in 1912, it had a solitary car in its hold, a brand new Renault Type CB Coupe de Ville. The car was bought by William Carter of Pennsylvania, while he was touring Europe with his wife and 2 children. The Renault was then loaded onto the Titanic when the Carters returned home, only to sink to the bottom of the Atlantic, never to be seen again. But luckily, the Carters happily all survived the sinking. Number 3. 1066 and all that. When Daimler launched its new small saloon in 1953, it was called the Conquest. That's because the car was priced at £1,066 before taxes, and the Norman Conquest took place in 1066. 45-68 Conquest saloons were produced by the time production ended in 1958. Number 4. Samsung's cars. Yes, that Korean company that makes your phone and your TV briefly also made cars. It started in 1994 but was clobbered by the Asian financial crisis of 1998. It sold the company to Renault in 2000. Number 5. Hitler's cars. After Adolf Hitler committed suicide in April 1945, the fuel tanks of his now redundant motor pool were drained to obtain the fuel to burn his body and that of his new wife, Eva Braun. Although a huge fan of cars, he never learned how to drive. Number 6. First electric cars. No, the first electric cars were not Teslas, milk floats or Dodgems. The first one appeared in 1884, invented by the Briton Thomas Parker, a year before the first car equipped with an internal combustion engine from Carl Benz. Electric power was very popular in the motor car's early days, especially as they didn't require cranking to start, and only gave way to the ICE as the latter became much better and more practical. Number 7. Lamborghini's tractors. Lamborghini is famous today for making some of the world's fastest and most glamorous supercars, but it started out making tractors, and the original firm still does. The sports car side is today owned by Audi. Lamborghini's biggest and baddest tractor today until recently was called the R8, a name it shares with the fastest Audi. And yes, Clarkson's Lambo tractor is still too big. Number 8. Lightweight Porsche. Porsche was so obsessed with saving weight from its first purpose-built lightweight 911, the original 911R of 1967. For the 911R they made the badge a sticker, removed the wheel center caps and cast the door hinges out of aluminium. The result weighed 814 kilograms, less than half what a standard 911 turbo weighs today. Number 9. 20's Plenty. In 1905, Rolls-Royce introduced a V8 powered car that was limited to just 20 miles per hour. That's because at the time, the maximum speed allowed in the UK was just 20 miles per hour, so Rolls-Royce created a car that would keep its driver within the law. Called the legal limit, just one example of the 3,535 cubic centimeters machine was sold. It was scrapped when Rolls-Royce bought the car back from its owner, and as a result none of these cars survive. Number 10. Volvo's first concept car. Volvo arguably introduced the industry's first concept car when it unveiled the Venus Below in 1933. It tested the public's reaction to a more aerodynamic design with a full-width body, a curved grille and headlights mounted almost flush with the body. After embarking on a tour of Sweden, the Venus Below was purchased by the owner of a scrapyard in Denmark and converted into a pickup. It hasn't been seen since the 1950s, most historians agree it was scrapped. That was our video for today. If you want more amazing videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.